Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Digital Underground. Today is Wednesday, January 31st, 2024, and this goofy little wrestling show starts right now. What's up, folks? It's going on, Michael Fletcher, alongside Anthony Fletcher and Michael Bullock. Welcome to Wednesday Night Madness. We apologize for the late start. My computer went through a system update. Then I tried to start it up through the laptop to see if it was going to work. The connection was not holding, so I had to switch to a cell phone immediately, kind of on an emergency basis. But we are up, we are running, we are fully functional, so we're good to go. And we're just gonna dive right on in. We're gonna go rapid fire, guys. So just please be mindful about that. But let's try to give them the best quality that we can under the circumstances. I want to try to get you guys out of here at a reasonable hour. So let's just dive right on in. We start out with NXT that went down last night. And we started out with the first semifinal match in the Dusty Rhodes Classic, as it was Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. They went up against members of the LWO, Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro. And when it was all said and done, Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes advances to the final match. They're going to the finals. They win it in 12 minutes and 33 seconds. Very solid opening for this show. Really good match. Really good tag team fight. And I'll even say this was about 3 to 3.5 stars. Then there was a little bit of a post fight where basically Obi Fima came out, jumped the members of the LWO. That brought out Dragon Lee to come and make the save. The three men try to jump Obi, but Obi overpowers everybody and left everybody in a heap. Trick Williams was thinking, man, I should probably go back in, probably jump into, to try to save the guys. Carmelo Hayes like, no. No, let's stay out of this. This has nothing to do with us. Let's focus on the finals. Let's focus on winning the Dusty Classic. I'm cool with that. Solid opener. So, Anthony Floyo, it's yours. 3 to 3.5 for me.
3.5 for me. This was as good as advertised. The teams pushed the pace from the start, delivering wild spots consistently. It wasn't always completely clean, but the ingenuity showed what tag team wrestling can be at its best. NXT has committed everything to Trick Williams for Vengeance Day. He is still relatively new with just over 2 years of wrestling experience. Working double duty in the same show is a difficult ask. However, if officials trust he is ready, this could be the moment when he becomes a lasting star in the business. It is all down to his conditioning. If he can pull it off, Trick Mello Gang versus Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin in the finals of the Dusty Cup, followed by Trick Williams versus Ilya Dragunov for the NXT Championship, will be phenomenal moments in NXT history. I'm not going to do my post-match analysis like I usually do because of the time constraints, so I'm just going to park it here. 3.5 stars is my rating. I could go as far as to call this the fight of the night if I wanted to. So there isn't anything else left for me to say except Michael Bullock, Trick Mello Gang, Braun Breaker, Baron Corbin. There's your final for the Dusty Cup on Sunday night. And hey, look what you got here. Trick Williams pulling double duty. So Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, 3.5 stars is my rating on it as well. I mean, this was definitely a good match here to, but there's really nothing more for me to say. You pretty much touched on everything, so let's move on.
All right, and just for a side note, guys, just I think if WWE, or I should say NXT, Shawn Michaels and the boys are smart, you let the Dusty Classic final lead off, give Trick Williams all the time that he needs to recover, and then obviously the NXT title fight against Ilya Dragunov will be the main event. So if you're going to do it that way, let Trick fight at the beginning of the show and then Trick fight at the end of the night with the title on the line. We'll get into the preview on Friday night as a special event, as we're going to be doing. We're going to have a special thing on Friday, so we'll preview everything on that night, and then possibly a recap on Sunday night. We'll give our thoughts about that on Sunday. So, Roxanne Perez versus Tatum Paxley. Roxanne Perez wins in 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Not much to talk about in the match. However, after the match was over, Tatum Paxley tried to attack Roxanne Perez again, but this time around, La Valkyria jumped into the ring and pulled Roxanne off of Tatum. And basically, they almost went to blows. Ooh. Tatum kind of looked at Lara like, oh my God, he actually saved me? Fellas, I mean, we don't really need to talk about the match, but
we do need to talk about the post-match, MF. You damn right we got to talk about the post-match.
Yeah, please.
And let's open floor on this. I want to lead off on this because this is my specialty.
Well, it was going to be yours anyway, so you lead off.
So, oh boy. Yes, sir. This is good stuff here, man. I'm telling you, in the immortal words of Jesse the Body Ventura, I smell a rat. Oh, I smell a rat. A big one. And I'll tell you what, gentlemen, could we possibly be leaning towards a possible heel turn for Lyra Valkyria? I think it could do wonders for her. I really do. I would personally love to see it myself. So, yes. Match was obviously short and simple. Obviously, it was because Roxy had to make Tatum Paxley pay for the previous week, and commentary, got a chance to ask whether Valkyria might be welcoming the heel support, and then they stood face to face days before the match. And as far as the action was concerned, Paxley probably could have gotten in a little more offense, but Roxy could not afford to look weak before the big title match. I think Lyra will beat Perez at Vengeance Day, but the way she wins will be important. It feels like both women are near a breaking point. One, I'm not going to say one could turn heel during or after the bout. It's not could. I believe one will. I'm not waiting until Friday when I say, here's your bold prediction right here. Lyra Valkyria is going to turn heel during or after this match. Remember where you were when I said this. You heard it here first. So, the match was obviously about 1, maybe 1.5 for the effort, but Bullock, this is all about the post-match here. I believe fully one of these women, I believe Lyra, will turn heel. It's not could. Keyword, will.
Well, someone will turn heel, but I really don't. I don't really want to put a guarantee on it because we've seen these things happen before. I mean, we say, Lyra Valkyria is gonna turn heel, and then next thing you know, it could be Tatum Paxley that could turn heel. So I'm just gonna wait and see what happens on Sunday night, and just let everything develop. I mean, I'm not gonna make any bold predictions here because there's a good chance that I could be wrong with it. So
yeah.
So I mean, I respect Florio's decision with his prediction, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to, because
you're not going to pull the trigger on it just yet.
No, because if I go and say Lyra Valkyria is going to turn heel, they could swerve us, and Tatum Paxley could turn heel. So I'm just going to wait and see how it all plays out on Sunday night, and then just let the cards fall for themselves. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Well, think Tatum definitely will be heel. As far as Lara goes, it would definitely do her wonders, and I think a lot of people would embrace it. However, I could actually see Roxanne Perez turn heel here. And the thing is, I think it's going to be because of the fact that she blows up after losing this fight. Because I don't think she's going to lose this clean. I think Tatum is going to cost Roxanne. Roxanne just blows a gasket and beats the living hell out of both women. And basically embraces the heel roll on that. So I could see that explosion happen.
And I can see that. I can see that too, Fletch. Because let's not forget another thing that we're completely forgetting about. Because remember a few weeks ago when Roxanne was taking on Ariana Grace, and we thought she won the match, but she didn't want to let go of the hold. So, and you just saw the smile on her face, and you wonder.
He kind of got that sick, sadistic, like twisted sister look. Like what? Yeah, and even Booker T was like, he tried to reel her in, like, yo, wait a minute, girl, you can't do that. Yo, you got to get your emotions in check and everything else. This could be the moment where she could say, I'm sick and tired of being in your limelight, Booker T. I'm sick and tired of getting screwed over by all the women in NXT. She could go down that path if she wants to. There is an avenue for Roxanne Perez to turn heel, even though Anthony Florio is 1,000% correct. There is a possibility we could see Lau Valkyria turn heel in this instant by defending and helping Tatum Paxley, even though she didn't want the help. Yo, if Tatum is on her beck and call, doing everything she can to protect her, why not embrace that? You know what? Even though I said I didn't want your help, maybe I do need somebody beside me. Yo, be with me through the good and the bad, because she has them. So who knows? I mean, right now there's a number of different avenues this can go. Florio could definitely be 1,000% correct, and Lau Valkyria turns heel with Tatum Paxley, and we keep Roxanne Perez face. Or you could go the complete opposite, where Roxanne goes heel, Tatum and then Lau Valkyria becomes a sympathetic figure because she got caught in the middle of a mess. And maybe that adds to another layer to this rivalry. There is 20 million different ways this could go. And we're really going to have to wait and see. This will be the most intriguing championship fight for the NXT Women's title that's going down at Vengeance Day this Sunday night. And it's going to be very crucial how this plays out. That's going to decide one way or another what we're looking at towards the future of NXT, and more importantly, the women's title. Elektra Lopez versus Lola Vice was next. Lola Vice winning the match in 3 minutes and 28 seconds. We don't really need to go into that. Then we had Lexis King and Rich Holland. Lexis King wins the match in 9 minutes and 38 seconds. Michael Bullock, it is yours.
Yeah, I'll give this about maybe 2.5, 2.75 on this one. I mean, I thought it was a good match, but it definitely could have been better in some areas. But all in all, not really too much to complain about. So it's yours, Fletch.
Not much to complain about the in-ring work, but my God, poor Rich Holland, the Dallas boys made a statement about him. They made him an example. And unfortunately, Rich Holland suffers a significant knee injury, a leg injury, thanks to the viciousness of the Gallus boys. I told you, you mess with the Irish or the Scottish last kickers, they're gonna put a whooping on that behind. And that's exactly what happened, man. I knew this was going to happen. I felt it was going to happen. And the Gallus boys, my boys, left poor Ridge Holland in a heap. That was, without a doubt, statement made, message sent, and don't mess with Gallus. Done. Florio, it's yours. 2.5 to 3 for the match.
Agreed. 2.5 to 3 stars. Solid match here. I'm not surprised with the outcome here. Ridge Holland has no friends, obviously, because he got the hell beat out of him by the Gallus boys. So, not sure what this is leading to for Ridge Holland, but the future's not looking bright for him right now. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how NXT capitalizes on this. So this was a solid match for me. I'll give it 2.5 to 3. Let's move on, gentlemen.
All right. One of the rare times we're actually going to talk about a promo segment. Normally we don't talk about promo segments, but this one has to be addressed. This was about the Chase University. Obviously, they were referencing that it's been a great run. We've had a lot of fun. But because of all the financial troubles that has happened and everything that has happened in light of Chase University, unfortunately, it was about to go under. It was going to be that this was going to be the end of it, and that was going to be the end of Chase University. And before he was going to say that this was over, Thea Hale and JC Jane came out, and JC's like, look, I've been, I understand. I had no vision or no idea about wanting to be with Chase University when I first started this. But I got to admit, you guys took me in when nobody else did. Yes, I've been a little toxic, but you guys showed me a light. You ultimately became my friends, and I appreciated everything that you've done. That I got an idea. Just hear me out on this. And he brings out I think it was at least 12 other women, and they all were lined up at the rampway. And she even said that what we can do is we will make a Chase U University women calendar. And with the money and the revenue of everything that happens with this calendar, and they will start selling this on Sunday at Vengeance Day. I'm guessing WWEshop.com or NXT Shop will have this supposed calendar. I would not be surprised if they don't, because obviously, they're going to want to make something out of this for the fans. But she said that once this goes into print, once this goes live, the money that will reel in, the revenue that they'll get, it will save Chase University. Obviously, Andre Chase is overwhelmed, saying, you're now one of us. Welcome to Chase University. You can tell JC kind of had that, I guess. But she took the hug. She accepted it. But you can tell there's something else going on in her head. There's something there. I don't know what her end game is. I don't know what she's looking for. But there's definitely some kind of payoff that JC's looking for. I just can't really put my finger on it right now. Like, I know you're up to something. I know it's not good. Well, what is your end game, JC? What are you trying to get out of this? Like, what's this storyline going? So I'm a little perplexed. I hope we get some kind of payoff on Sunday night with this, but it was fine for what it was worth. Then we had Ariana Grace versus Fallon Henley. And Ariana Grace wins the match in 8 minutes and 39 seconds, but it was because there was some distraction. Metaphor, Lakara Jackson and Lash Legend both getting involved. Well, Lakara just jumped up on the apron, but Lash Legend was the one that did all the dirty work. Boot to the face on Fallon Henley, and Ariana Grace picks up the fall to win. Fine match. I'm not gonna say too much about it. This was about maybe 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. It was a fine battle. Ariana Grace gets a big win over Fallon Henley. But more importantly, if you notice, this might actually, I don't know what got into it, but now Red Sinclair and Fallon Henley looks like they got in a little bit of a partnership now. It looks like Fallon Henley has taken Ren under her wing, and I think that's going to end up working down the line. But if you're Fallon Henley and Ren Sinclair, you kind of started a hornet's nest, because now you got Metaphor after you. I don't know what you did or what provoked that, but So Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Absolutely. 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star. Both women worked this slower than necessary, especially given the messy finish that was coming. The crowd was out of it by the time Henley was ramping up her offense, and Metaphor's involvement broke any remaining flow. The goal was to show that Fallon Henley has a problem to deal with in Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, and she cannot afford to focus on anything else in the meantime. Meanwhile, the allies she had chosen in Ren Sinclair may not be ready to step up. Ariana Grace also snuck away with another win, perhaps setting her up for a future women's championship match sooner than later. She continues to prove she is a solid hand and may deserve that spotlight. But that's just me. So 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. That's the correct rating for this. So Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Mike? There you go.
2.5 stars is my rating for this as well. I mean, yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with this pair. But yeah, Lash Legend and Jackson definitely cost Fallon Henley the match. So there's really nothing more to say. So let's move on.
All right, and then we had a fight for the Heritage Cup. Next up on the show, it was the Scottish Supernova, Noam Dar, putting the Heritage Cup on the line against Von Wagner, winner of the match. And this ended in round number 4 in 1 minute, 54 seconds in round number 4. Winner of 2 straight falls and still the holder of the NXT Heritage Cup was Noam Dar. I believe this goes to Anthony Florio. So, Florio, it's yours.
I hate to do this, but I got to be the man who tells it like it is here. And when I say that,
that's never good.
No. I'm about to unleash hell on this. This was an absolute dud. I'm sorry. This was bad. Von Wagner was moving in slow motion early on until Noam Dar took over, and the flow of the match was almost equivalent to a squash. Given the way the Scottish Supernova has been booked, it was odd to see him this dominant. This year could have been a chance to restart Von Wagner, at least with a confident showing. Instead, his credibility is right back in the dirt. While his segments with Mr. Stone are fun TV, a change is needed fast. Hopefully, a real challenger is on the horizon for Noam Dar. He needs someone at the level of a Dragon Lee or maybe a Nathan Frazier once again to make the Heritage Cup scene interesting. So I'm not gonna go any further into detail on this. I'm sorry, this was a dud. This was the worst fight of the night for me, and I'll even go as far as to call it the worst Heritage Cup match I have ever seen. Very disappointing. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, I just told you how I really feel. How do you really feel?
I'm with you. This was an absolute dud. I mean, the worst Heritage Cup match I've ever seen. I mean, everything they did in this was just wrong. I mean, this was a chance to make Von Wagner, something again, and instead it's just the same old thing. I mean, we need to see more out of this. Instead, it's. I'm sorry, I'm with Anthony Florio. I mean, yeah, NXT really screwed up on this one. And yeah, Heritage Cup usually puts on some good matches, but this one here absolutely freaking sucked ass. I'm sorry. I'm calling it the way I see it. I don't give a damn what anybody says. Dud, it's yours, Fletch.
I think what happened was they put the wrong guys in the match. Like, Noam Dar needs somebody smaller. He needs somebody more his size. Von Wagner is not the right guy for this match. The concept, the idea to put a Heritage Cup, it's almost like the equivalent of the Cruiserweight Championship. You need guys within that realm that makes it enough for us to say that we can play this. But the problem is that unfortunately here, he's not, to me, he's not the right guy. So I totally agree. This was the worst fight, and it was a major letdown. So there's really nothing more to add. There was a promo segment at the end with Trick Williams and Ilya Dragunov, and that ended the show because there was a big brawl that almost broke out. Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin try to get their hands on Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams to try to get the jump on them prior to everything. So we'll see how that plays out, but there's really nothing more to add. So Michael Bullock, overall review, and then we'll get ourselves ready for AEW.
6.5 for me on this one. So yeah, I'm not gonna go into anything more. It's yours, Fletch.
Agreed. 6 out of 10 for me. I thought they did a good job. Anthony, it's yours.
Yes. Let's try to find it here. NXT promised a big card and emotional moment, and it delivered a decent show that relied upon the weeks of hype preceding to keep fans invested. Scheduled matches got too little time. Promos repeated much of what had already been said, and the overall card remained mostly the same in terms of makeup and excitement. It would have been nice to see bigger performances in matches like Noam Dar and Von Wagner, Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez, and Roxanne Perez and Tatum Paxley. This did not make it a bad show, but it was a letdown. The drama between Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, and Ilya Dragunov is NXT's most important angle, and nothing was going to shake that build. 6.5 out of 10. Definitely agree. Let's get to Dynamite, gentlemen.
Started off with Jon Moxley going one-on-one with Jeff. Jon Moxley winning the match in 15 minutes. Look, solid opener. Really good start. Really good battle. I really enjoyed it. I liked it. There was really nothing more for me to add here. This was easily 3.5 stars. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
I'll tell you what. The announcers talked about Jeff Hardy showing more aggression lately, but Jon Moxley was the aggressor for most of the bout. This was an interesting combination because these two have been in the ring together a handful of times, but this was their first singles match. Neither of them is what you would call conventional wrestlers, but that worked in their favor. This didn't feel like a standard wrestling match, but that didn't stop it from being fun. The charismatic Enigma came close a few times, but the former AEW World Heavyweight Champion put him to sleep with that Bulldog choke to score the win. Now MF, 4 luchadors from CMLL attacked Jon Moxley after Jeff Hardy left the ring. BCC was not there to help, but a few others from the locker room helped clear the ring. So this was about 3.5 stars for me. So I'm sure MF might have a little more on those CMLL wrestlers because we all know MF, we all know how he religiously follows the AAA and the CMLL. Unlike Bullock and I, we really hardly don't. So, it is what it is. But 3.5 stars for me. So, Michael Bullock, nice little fun match here between two former WWE champions in the form of Hardy and Moxley. A very fun match. 3.5 stars for me.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun match. 3.5 stars. I mean, I like the chemistry during this match, but yeah. I mean, the right man comes over, so the right man goes over. But yeah, I mean, that group that attacked Moxley, Yeah, they're going to have to probably deal with the rest of the Blackpool Combat Club. So nothing more to say. It's your Sledge.
Yeah, just to let you know who those guys were. This is Venador Jr., Mystical, uh, uh, Heliciero, and Mascara Derrota. These were the four that jumped them. Mystical, as you guys may remember, guys, this was the original Sin Cara from WWE fame that actually jumped them. That jumped them. Now Valedor Jr., like you said, is more CMLL. Masculine Dorota, actually, as a matter of fact, I think had a brief stint in Lucha Underground. Very brief stint, maybe like a one-off on Lucha Underground. And then Heliciero is also from CMLL. He's done some stuff in Japan. He's done some stuff in Mexico. And that's why you haven't seen much of him. But like I said, Mystical is the big name of this whole group because of the fact of his lineage and his what he brought to the table more than anything else. Yes, he got chased away by Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, Matt Seidel, and the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels. Basically got the Luchadors out of there during that chaos. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. So then we had was Hangman Adam Page versus Tola Lania. This was a dealer's choice match. Hangman wins the match in 12 minutes and 40 seconds. Anthony Floyer, what's yours?
Yeah. Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland each got to pick each other's opponent for the night. So Tola Leona stepped up for the leader of the Mogul Embassy. Leona had a decent size and power advantage. That would usually mean Hangman would have the upper hand in speed, but they were more evenly matched than you would expect based on their appearance. This was another hard-hitting fight, but in a different way than Mox versus Jeff Hardy. Leona has signed in many matches in both ROH and AEW, but he was always going to be a hurdle for Hangman to clear. Hangman was unable to hit the buckshot lariat, but he did manage to keep Leona down for a 3 count with a crucifix. So we'll see what Hangman selected for Swerve Strickland in the main event of tonight's show. So nothing more to say. This was about 3 1/4 or so. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts? Outcome never in doubt. You knew Hangman was going to win, but nice little be a man fight here. 3 1/4 stars for me. Bullock, it's yours.
Oh, what did you get this?
I gave it 3 1/4.
Yeah, 3 1/4 for me on this one as well. So, it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, 3 1/4, definitely a great matchup, no doubt about it. Could have been better in certain areas, but very little to complain either. So we're just gonna move right on along. The next up we had was Wardlow versus Comanda. Wardlow winning the match in 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Michael Bullock, you want to talk about it? It's up to you. If you don't, then we could just move on.
Move on.
Okay. Next up that we did have was Kyle Fletcher going up against Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho wins the match in 13 minutes and 25 seconds. Oh, by the way, just to let everybody know, this was not for the Ring of Honor television title. It was a non-title fight. However, you can say championship committee moment. Chris Jericho might have just earned himself a title shot for the Ring of Honor World Television title down the line. So, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
What was the time?
13:20.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. I mean, I'll give this about maybe 3 1/4, teetering on 3.5, even though 3 1/4, I think it's the correct rating on this. So, yeah, there's really nothing more for me to add on to it. So it's yours, Fletch.
3 1/4, definitely total agreement. I thought the match was solid in certain areas, could have been better in some others, but, the right person won. I really got nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Yes, absolutely. Just need a moment here. All right. This was booked to be the story of a young up-and-coming star taking on a man who was closer to the end of his career than the beginning. Chris Jericho is a competent performer, and Fletcher is one of the brightest stars under 30. So it's easy to see why they meshed well. Even when it looked like Jericho was slowing down, Fletcher adjusted to make everything look good. Jericho caught him with two different versions of the Judas effect to get the win. One looked much better than the other, but you should decide for yourself. 3.25, 3.5 is my rating for this, so let's move on.
Yes, indeed. So we do indeed move on. Next up that we do have here the next thing that we do have here was Deonna Purrazzo going one-on-one with Taya Valkyrie. And it was Deonna Purrazzo winning the match in 8 minutes and 55 seconds. This is kind of more of a showcase fight for Deonna. They're just giving her all the momentum that she needs as she's now leading into that possible world title fight against Tony Storm. So we'll wait and see how it plays out. But yeah, this is as good as you're going to get. So this was about 2.5 stars for me. Anthony, it's yours.
What was the time again, MF?
8:55.
3 stars. Now, this is a sentimental match for me, MF, and you know the reason why. Because of the fact that this match here, Deonna Purrazzo versus Taya Valkyrie, is a battle of, in my honest opinion, the 2 greatest and longest reigning TNA Impact Knockouts champions of all time. Deonna Purrazzo, the second longest reign in history, held the title for 343 days, squaring off against Taya Valkyrie, who has the longest knockout title reign in history, holding that title for 377 days. So this was definitely a great moment for me to see these two go at it once again. They had some great battles in TNA. Of course, they also battled in that unification match, and these two actually battled for a title that MF holds near and dear to his heart, the Reina de Reinas Championship. MF, I mean, you know that title all too well, and and what a match that was. This was about 3 stars for me. These are one quick notable observation. Taya Valkyrie did not come out alone. Who was with her? None other than her husband, Johnny TV, John Morrison, Johnny Impact. And MF, you haven't seen anything like this since the days of Lucha Underground, when they were part of the Worldwide Underground with Jack Evans and the Darewolf, PJ Black. I mean, yes, I did my Lucha Underground homework. You know I did. So, but anyways, 3-star match. These are 2 competitors who have a lot in common despite taking different approaches. Taya Valkyrie is all about flash over substance, but Deonna Purrazzo called herself the Virtuosa because she prides herself on being one of the best technicians in the world. Those differences aside, both women are skilled, powerful competitors who can throw some stiff strikes and bend their opponent to different holds. Purrazzo secured the win and immediately taunted Toni Storm from the ring as she shook with anger at the commentary table. You know why she shook with anger at commentary? Because she knows deep down in her soul that women's title is slipping through the cracks. And I'm telling you, if Deonna Purrazzo is the next one in line to challenge Toni Storm for that women's title, presumably at Revolution, the Timeless One's reign is going to be ending, because I believe Deonna Purrazzo is being groomed to be the next AEW Women's Champion. And if she wins that title, you think she had a long run in Impact? Oh boy. She will hold that. If she wins that title, she's going to hold that thing as long as she wants to, boys, just like she did in Impact when she held that Knockouts title for 343 days. So, not much more to say on this. Solid 3 stars for me. Great match. It brought back some great memories from me. All the great matches they had in Impact. It definitely brought back some great memories for me. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Yeah, you can say no surprise with the outcome. You knew Peraza was going to win because she's getting that she's being groomed to be the next AEW Women's Champion, and I believe she's the one who's going to end up dethroning Toni Storm, maybe at the Revolution pay-per-view. But for right now, this was a solid 3 stars, and Bullock, as I give it to you, another solid match between two solid in-ring workers, and for my money, the two greatest knockout champions in the history of TNA Impact Wrestling. So 3 stars from me. Michael Bullock, let's give it off to you. It's all yours here. Unless you stepped away or... Bullock, are you there?
Might have stepped away.
Yeah, I'm guessing he probably stepped away for a moment. So, but MF, I mean, you remember the battles that those two had in Impact. Great battles.
Oh, yeah.
And they had another one here tonight, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, very well done. I think the match could have gone a little longer. I think that might be the only thing that we might be griping about. But
agreed,
yeah.
Absolutely.
But other than that, no, fair enough, fair match, and we move right on along. We have 3 stars is what you said. That's the right rating. So we lead us into the main event of the evening, which was Swerve Strickland. He had a dealer's choice. It was going to be under hardcore rules, and it was with none other than Rob Van Dam. So it was Swerve Strickland winning the match in 14 minutes and 30 seconds. Bullock, are you back? Does not look like he is. All right, so I guess I'll start it. Solid main event. Another 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. It was what it needed it to be. Solid fight, great battle, great war, incredible match. And then look, we got to see it. And then, we had a nice little thing at the end. And, well, we're going to get Swerve Strickland versus Adam Hangman Page. And the winner of that match will get to face off at Samoa Joe for the AEW title at Revolution. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. I'm excited for it. I think ultimately it's going to end in a triple threat, and I think it's going to be a 3-way for the title. That's my honest prediction there. But at the end of the day, solid main event, 3.5 stars. Anthony, go.
Yeah. Hangman also revealed that this was a hardcore match just before the bell, so RVD surprised Strickland with a chair to the face to get things going. 3.5, 3 3/4 of a star. As expected, this match quickly turned into a series of weapon spots and moments designed to pop the crowd. As soon as Hangman revealed the stipulation, we all knew headlocks and drop toe holds were out the window. This didn't come close to the level of brutality of Swerve's other recent hardcore bouts, but it had its charm. The crowd always loves RVD and Pop for all of his signature moves, like, as MF would say, the Rolling Thunder. Oh, yeah. All those great commentary moments we had during those days. Brian Cage interfered, which brought out Hook to even the score for his one-time tag team partner. After a handful of near falls for both men, Strickland got the win with a swerve stomp. Yes, MF, I am aware of what we're going to see next week. Hangman Swerve 3 as part of a loaded edition of AEW Dynamite that's going to be going down next week. I mean, my goodness. I mean, this is looking like a pay-per-view card on free television next week.
Yeah, it does. Very much so.
You got this match. You got Chris Jericho going up against Konosuke Takeshita. Sting and Darby Allin challenging Big Bill and Ricky Starks for the World Tag Team Championship. I mean, my word. I mean, pay-per-view like card next week. And you know what, MF? I'm actually with you. I mean, that's exactly what I was thinking even before you said it. I mean, that's the same thought I had. I got a feeling that Hangman Swerve match is going to end in a clunky, screwy finish. I wouldn't be surprised if Joe ended up being a factor in that match and, basically pulls like a Roman Reigns and like he did on that New Year's Revolution SmackDown when Roman Reigns attacked AJ, LA Knight, and Randy Orton. And it led to Nick Aldis saying, hey, congratulations. Instead of a one-on-one match, you got yourself a fatal 4-way match now. I wouldn't be surprised if Joe does the same thing and maybe Tony Schiavone or somebody per Tony Khan can end up announcing that, congratulations, Joe, instead of a one-on-one, you got yourself a triple threat with both Hangman and Swerve. That's the direction they've been heading in ever since this whole thing started, after World's End. So I'm with you. So 3.5, 3 3/4 of a star. Michael Bullock, if you're back, come on in, and we'll we got to get your thoughts on the women's matchup with Tony Storm with Deonna Purrazzo and Taya Valkyrie. Bullock, are you back yet or no? Yeah, I think he's still out, MF. So we're just gonna have to get into the overall review, and it's gonna be me anyway. So let me start it off. So solid episode of Dynamite in terms of the overall quality of the bouts, but something was missing. Every bout on this card had its upside, but a lot of them also felt similar in tone. We didn't get any technical clinics or spot fests. We got plenty of chaos, but it all felt like the same kind of chaos, if that makes sense. Toa Leona and Hangman may have edged out everything else for the fight of the night, but it would be easy to see why people would also pick Jon Moxley and Jeff Hardy or Swerve versus RVD. AEW is in the middle of a lot of stories right now, so we're in a bit of a holding pattern until we get close to Revolution, when a lot of these storylines will wrap up. I'm thinking maybe somewhere between 7.5. I think that's the correct rating for it. So unless Bullock is back, MF, let's get to your thoughts.
7 to 7.5 is my rating as well. I think they did a really good job with it. Could have been better in certain areas, but I'm not going to be too mad about it. I think they did fine. And yeah, so we're done. We're out of here, folks. So thank you so much as always. And tomorrow, I believe it's Friday night. Is our special edition. We definitely got a lot to talk about. Anthony, why don't you hit us up with the future content first?
Yes. In the sports world, I know we're rapidly approaching the return of our regulation TXN Sports World shows, but I figured since we have the NXT pay-per-view coming up this Saturday, and we haven't done a SmackDown review in quite some time, so so I figured, why not make this a special NMF? Why don't we could end up making this a special edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, if you really think about it, because
honestly, truthfully,
because it is Friday Night SmackDown, and we're going to review Friday Night SmackDown after the Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes is going to be on the show, MF. So who knows? We could get one WrestleMania decision, or we could get both. Who knows? So we're going to have to see what that entails, but we're going to review Friday Night SmackDown, the fallout from the Royal Rumble. And of course, we're also going to preview the NXT Vengeance Day pay-per-view. So that'll be on Friday. And then, of course, Saturday, we are not going to have a show on Saturday because we got a very special night ahead of us. So we're going to bypass our traditional Saturday show. And then, MF, did I hear that right? Maybe Sunday after the pay-per-view, maybe a review of NXT, or? Yes.
We are definitely contemplating that, and we might even do it because normally NXT show ends pretty early, unlike the others. So usually, I think
it could be done by as early as 10:30 or as late as 11.
Yes, so if we do it, we'll do it. So we'll wait. Once the show ends, then we'll go right into it. So yeah, we'll definitely do it. All right, guys. So we will do that. We'll be back on Friday with the new edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, and then it leads us into Sunday and So for Anthony Foyle, for Michael Bullock, I'm going to Michael Fletcher. Be a friend, tell a friend, say something nice. You can actually change their life. Until then, goodbye.